for that confirmation. And again, a wonderful day to everyone. Happy Friday to us. Congratulations for surviving another week. And it's great because ang bilis po ng panahon. July na po ngayon. Kamukat-mukat lang natin just do some editing here. Kamukat-mukat lang natin ilang months na lang per months na po. Ayan. So, thank you everyone for joining us in this session. We hope that we would be able to provide you new insights and information about digital skills and how we can harness tools and resources that are available to us. Now, we're seeing po in the chat po natin and in the Zoom, people and participants from different areas and from different organizations or groups. Kanina po may nag-shout out sa chat po natin from DOST. So good morning po to you. Participants po natin from the DOST. We also have po participants from DARO. And I'm also seeing po yung mga names po natin sa Zoom. We have also participants from institutions or universities. I think I've seen po um, participants po from Xavier University. Ayan. So meron din po, ayan, joining us, si Sir Richard from Los Baños, Laguna. It's a wonderful time po that we have right now. Technology is able to bridge us regardless of yung limitations ng geography, ng time, ng space. We're able to meet here. Ayan. So we also have din po from Dominican College of Tarlac. Ako, baka po makita niyo pa dito yung mga BFFs ninyo or mga besties ninyo or mga colleagues niyo po. We are actually joined by from different po ng mga organizations. We have po here from LGUs, government offices and government administrations, and yung mga universities po natin. So thank you for accepting our invitation and for joining us in this session. So the Learning Hour session is designed to be engaging and is dedicated to unveiling the latest advancements in educational technology. So congratulations again for being here, dear participants. You are a testament that really education is a lifelong learning po na process because despite us being graduates already successful in our chosen careers and endeavors, you still find ways to enrich yourself and update yourself po with the latest trends. So this morning po, we hope to provide new information to you, as mentioned by our facilitator, Ms. Claire. We hope po that our session would help you discover how you can help yung institutions ninyo, your departments, your colleagues, discover po yung mga benchmark, how to assess yung current digital levels and skills po natin. Because knowing where we are right now, especially in this fast-paced po na environment, would be a key tool to enriching and developing po training and resources and materials and activities to get us ready and ahead of that one. All right. So I hope you're all ready for our session. This is designed to be short but sweet, impactful, and punong-puno po. We are scheduled for a total of 1 hour po na session. All right, so can you give me a number one on the chat box if you are all ready to start our session? Okay, so we're seeing number ones there. Nako, it's good to know na gising yung mga participants po natin. You're very interactive and engaged po sa ating conversation right now with you typing yung mga prompts po natin on the chat box. Okay, so let us start this session by asking this question to everyone. Why do you think digital skills assessment is important? Okay. So why are you here po, dear participants in this session? Feel free po to put your answers on the chat box. So why do you think digital skills assessment is important? Bakit kailangan nating malaman ano yung level ng ating digital literacy? Alright? So medyo nag-isip-isip pa yung mga participants po natin. Yeah, so feel free to put that on the chat box po if you'd like to share your answer to this question. Why is it important? Digital skills assessment. Okay. So let me move dun sa next natin na slide. No? Ayan, so thank you. May nag-message dito to gauge the capacity and capability of individuals to adapt in adapting involving technologies. True, ano? Tama po yun. Another po na nag-share, digital skills assessment is important to gauge because this will gauge how techy an individual is. Tama po yun. Right now, I mean, that's one of those skills na pinaka-importante or emerging. We're seeing a lot of implosion and explosions of new technologies shaping how we live, how we do yung everyday natin na nagawain. So I think that's very important and thank you po for sharing. Okay, so most jobs now require some levels of digital literacy, whether it's using emails, spreadsheets, or specialized software. Tama po yun. We need to sharpen yung skills natin right now because really a lot of things are happening and a lot of new things are exciting. So we need to be ready. Okay, so it is because we are in the era of fast-pacing technology as shared by Miss Teresa Ramos. And lastly, here is digital skills are important because they enable individuals to effectively navigate, communicate, and work in an increasingly digital world. So all correct po yung mga sharing po ng mga participants po natin. Thank you to you. And truly, what is common dun sa mga sagot po natin is that we are living in an ever-growing and expanding digitally driven world. Nako, who would have thought na yung Gen AI would have an explosion right now? No, we're seeing a lot of um, processes, activities, products that are brought about by yung mga Gen AI. I'm sure marami po sa atin dito nag-grab, nagti-TikTok, nagne-Netflix, naglalasada, nag-food panda. Little did you know, dear participants, na yung mga seemingly innocent tools and apps na ginagamit po natin for our everyday po na transactions are shaping how we engage dun sa environment. And knowing yung skills to differentiate what is needed and what is important and how to make use of it is very important not just for our survival but also in ensuring that lahat ng katrabaho natin, lahat ng kasamahan natin, family members po natin are equipped so that we would be more agile, more ready because with the expansion of technology use for good or for the betterment or for the improvement, nandyan din po yung mga iilang personalities or mga tao or mga organizations who are abusing that one. And we need to be very careful on that one. So it's important that we know where our digital literacy skills are because number one, it's going to help us on our work. A lot of things are improving technologically. And number two, it's also going to safeguard us, yung mga personal information natin, yung mga data privacy po natin. So that is true. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure you would all agree to that statement that you're seeing on your screen. We live in an ever growing and expanding digitally driven world, and digital technologies are rapidly transforming various aspects of our lives from how we communicate and work and how we access information and entertain ourselves. So, this digital revolution is characterized by constant innovation and the increasing integration of digital tools and platforms into nearly every facet of society. Um, that is true, no? Sabi po nila, ang forever lang daw po is change. Yun lang daw po ang constant always alive po natin. And with everything that's happening right now, a lot of things are changing and a lot of things will be changing pa po. Now, I'm gonna pose another question. You can answer it by yourself or you can also share it on the chat box. What one part of your life is widely dominated by technology? Anong part ng life niyo po, yung talagang kumbaga ever present yung technology sa inyo? So let me start by sharing. For me, it's on finance, no? Ever since the pandemic, I no longer carry as much cash as I used to. So parang I can go out of house, of the office, and be able to travel, to buy stuff, as long as I have my phone with me, because paying via fund transfer is way more convenient for me, and automatically meron po akong receipt and transaction details when I do that one. So that's one aspect of my life is being widely dominated by technology. Ayan. So, how about you po? Ano po yung one aspect of your life that's really dominated by technology? Ayan, si Sir Richard is sharing, my laptop is my office. Nako, dama kita dyan, sir. True. Similarly, kantsaw nga po ng husband ko sa akin, hindi na po ako matanggal sa upuan ko. Naka-plaster na po ako sa upuan ko kasi nakatapat lang po ako always doon sa laptop po natin. Ayan. So, same po yung isang participant po natin, workplace, PC, and laptop. Yun yung mga dominating sa kanilang life, dominated by technology. So I'm sure a lot of us would have all of these musings and thinkings about other aspects ng life po natin being dominated by technology. And that's a good thing because we're able to acknowledge yung presence ng technology sa atin. Ang pinaka-importante daw po sa lahat ng bagay is awareness, because if we're aware kung ano yung concern, ano yung problem, what's happening in our life, then we are more ready than ever. So thank you for sharing po those information about yourself. So let me share po with you this slide on encapsulating yung mga answer po natin on why digital skills assessment is important. I'm sure yung mga participants po natin, some of you or a lot of you are in a position of administration or leadership, or you are in a position to influence decisions or programs or activities in your individual organizations and institutions. And because you're in that position to have an impact or have an influence, sabi nga po ng Marvel Heroes, with great power comes great responsibility. And as you carry out yung programs and activities ninyo in your institutions, it's inevitable that you'll encounter people from all walks of life or individuals with diverse educational backgrounds, life experiences, and learning needs. Gone would be the time na pare-pareho po yung expectation natin dun sa mga katrabaho natin, what they can and cannot do, because really the world right now is an exciting place, so to speak, because a lot of new things, a lot of activities are changing and shaping each of us. So that is exciting because we're able to meet people from different walks of life with all of this different background. We have all of this diversity. But take note, with that diversity comes the important challenge of establishing a common starting point, a baseline, so that you can deliver truly meaningful and relevant learning activities and sessions. So for us, especially, this is um, something of very uh, true, no? Medyo nakaka-relate po kami dito because in our organization, we have new employees from time to time. And when you have new employees, one of those, or new colleagues, if you are in that position po, one of those important things that should happen is that we should be able to train, to impart yung knowledge, to impart yung learning dun sa mga new members of our team. And the most difficult thing there is that knowing how to start, where to start. No? So this is where digital skills assessment and literacy is coming into play, because skills assessment, as you na-mention po ninyo dun sa mga sharing po ninyo, would help identify existing knowledge, skills, and gaps. No? This allows everyone, or you po, dear participants, to tailor your approach, ensuring that learning is targeted and impactful. Um, when I was in college, or nung nag-aaral po ako, we were introduced to Microsoft's Office suite nung college lang po ako. So doon pa lang po na-introduce yung Microsoft Word, yung PowerPoint, yung Excel, and I'm sure yung mga students po natin right now is being introduced to them at an early stage, at early age ng kanilang education and learning. But not everyone would have the same skill set or the same po na um, kakayanan on doing this different po, or manipulating these different tools and softwares that are ever present sa lahat po ng mga offices right now. So of course, nandyan po always yung office tools po natin, yung spreadsheet, Word file, presentation, or yung PowerPoint. And there are some new tools that are ever present right now. So say for example, Canva. Anyone po ba here using Canva in the office? or yung mga platforms po natin na ginagamit sa office. Ayan. So these are tools that are new in the workplace, but actually everyone is expected to make use of that one, but not everyone knows how to go about it. So dun sa mga participants po natin, knowing how to help yung mga bagong kasamahan po natin, bagong colleagues po natin, if you're in HR or in admin, knowing how to train itong mga tao na to would be a key tool for you. That's why skills assessment is very important because it would help people diagnose and to create benchmarking current digital skills levels and deliver targeted instruction that meets users where they are. And it empowers organizations to track progress, close skill gaps, and build digital confidence across all users. So that is from our standpoint, why digital skills assessment is important. And of course, yung mga na-share po ninyo are very important as well because yun po yung output of knowing or having po yung digital skills assessment po natin. Now, let's pause for a moment to explore the latest trends and news shaping our landscape. So before we look at any resources or solutions, tools or platforms, it's important that we understand the current landscape, specifically where we stand when it comes to digital literacy in the Philippines and across the globe. The recent studies and assessments show that while Filipinos are highly active online, nangunguna po tayo dyan, especially on social media, there is still a significant gap when it comes to digital skills that are essential for education and the workplace. This includes competencies like online communication, information evaluation, digital content creation, and cyber safety. So these four things that I've mentioned po are the most critical and important digital skills that every one of us should have and be aware of now that we are living in an increasingly developing and changing technologically driven world. So again, that would be online communication, information evaluation, how we understand, digest, make use of the information that we are reading and seeing and hearing, digital content creation, and cyber safety or cyber security. So those are important digital skills that we should have. Now, what do you know about the current state of digital literacy in the Philippines? You're seeing on the screen po some of the statistics about the digital literacy numbers in the Philippines. In today's fast evolving world, where we are surrounded by skyscrapers, self-driving cars. Naku, malapit na po sa Philippines yan. Computers and even robots, digital literacy is no longer optional. It's actually a necessity. Ito na po yung bagong internet, yung digital literacy skills po natin because a lot of our students, a lot of our children are born in a time where they no longer tawag nito, they're born in a time po na always present na po yung internet. Gone were the times na yung time po natin na kumbaga kaka-introduce lang po ng internet or ng computer. Yung students po natin right now are born daw po with a wire and tablet on their hand already. And without the right foundation, we risk becoming like a caveman. Ayan po si caveman po natin, living in a modern world, surrounded by technology but unable to use it effectively. So true na marunong po tayong gumamit ng computer, marunong po tayong gumamit ng cellphone. We know how to log into Facebook, to TikTok, to YouTube. We know how to consume information. We know how to consume content. But ang pinaka-importante pong skill there would be yung na-mention po natin kanina, how do we make use of this information? Do we determine ano po yung mga information na totoo, ano po yung mga information that are fake or not true or are fabricated, and how do we make use of this information to effect positive changes po, not only in our lives, but in the lives of those around us po, as we carry out yung work po natin. Now, to fully appreciate the need for a robust digital literacy, let us first return to the fundamentals. So we were mentioning earlier, ano ba yung digital literacy? Why is it important to assess our current skills in relation to digital literacy? Now, digital literacy refers to the ability to effectively and responsibly use digital technologies for accessing, evaluating, creating, and communicating information. It involves both our technical skills such as navigating digital platforms, carry na po natin yan, and cognitive skills, including the critical evaluation of online content. This is where um, I think a lot of us, myself included, needs more strengthening, to evaluate yung content na binabasa or kino-consume ko. And in today's fast evolving technological landscape shaped by innovations such as artificial intelligence, AI, yung Gen AI po natin, and machine learning, being digitally literate is no longer optional. It has become a fundamental skills um, it has become a fundamental skill set that impacts multiple areas of our daily lives and future readiness. Now, the importance of digital literacy is especially evident in the following area. So you're seeing there eight po na areas where or when it is important yung ating digital literacy skills, but most specifically on critical thinking and problem solving. We don't um, we don't need to be as much reliant and dependent on machines or AI po natin. Number two is online safety and privacy. How sure po kayo dun sa skills ninyo to safeguard yourself with yung mga cybersecurity and cyberbullying, bridging the digital divide and career preparedness. Ayan. So these are important skill set that we need to have to become fully digital literate. Now, at this point, let's broaden our horizon, dear participants, and look at the Future of Jobs report of 2025. Now, dear participants, the Future of Jobs report is published by the World Economic Forum, and it is a critical resource for understanding how jobs, skills, and the workplace are evolving in response to rapid technological, economic, and societal change. So, if you are in the school setting, if you're administrator, educator, librarian, or admin or IT po kayo ng school, it's important po this one because this will let you know ano po yung mga skill set na kakailanganin ng mga students ninyo na mag-graduate from your institution. If you are in the workplace naman po, say for example, you are joining us from different offices like a business sector or sa government po, I think it's important also this information because it's gonna show you po yung magiging trend ng workplace and how work po na needs and requisite skills would be changing over time. Um, this report po, by the World Economic Forum, is a strategic tool for shaping the future of work, empowering stakeholders at all levels to anticipate change, take action, and thrive in a rapidly evolving market of labor. Okay, so what you're seeing po right now is that these are the drivers of business transformation. Number one po dyan is yung broadening digital access. Now more than ever po, we have access to a lot of information because of yung internet infrastructure ng Philippines right now, which is way better 3 to 5 years from ago. I'm sure you would agree po. Mas mabilis na po yung internet connection po natin, mas mabilis na po yung access natin. We're able to access a lot of sites that are previously not available to us. So that's one of those drivers of business transformation. And because we have a broadening digital access, I'm sure you would agree and you would notice that this world is getting smaller right now because right now we get to have information in real time about what's happening around the world. Like yung different wars that are happening or the different um, situations that are happening in different parts of the world. Okay. And if you look closely naman po at the top drivers of business transformation, which is in digital access in the previous slide, we are seeing that 86% of that is focused on AI and information processing technologies, followed by robots and autonomous or automatic system. Yan. So yan po yung kumbaga top doon sa drivers of business transformation. So this is another part where I'm gonna ask po yung mga participants natin to ask yourself, on the topic or on this area po ng AI and information processing and technologies, saan po kayo doon? Are you consumer of AI na mga content or are you creator? Yan, no? Because it's important to know how we are consuming yung AI and how we're able to create also content, tools, and resources out of AI because in the next 5 years or so, a lot of how we do what we do is gonna be governed or with presence po ng AI. So it's good that you're here because this is a start po to understanding where your skills right now in those aspects. And then by 2030, it is also predicted that there would be a total of 170 million jobs across the world that can be created because of these new technologies. But 92 million jobs also will be displaced, meaning no longer needed. And I'm sure you are seeing some of that already um, present sa ating workplace or in the Philippines. And at least 1,090 million jobs to continuously evolve, meaning changing and fine-tuning. These are really big numbers no, that we are seeing. But little did you know, dear participants, alam niyo po bang meron na pong work ngayon, ang trabaho lang po nila is gumawa ng prompts para sa mga AI tools po natin. And that job is called prompt engineer. So those would be new things or new ways on how technology are being uh, driven, no? Is being used as a driver in this job landscape po natin. And then in this slide naman po, we are seeing that the largest and growing declining jobs by 2030. So the top largest growing jobs, you're seeing that here. So there's still hope for, andun pa rin po yung necessity ng mga jobs that needs manual activities, such as yung mga farm workers po natin, light truck drivers, and then you see po here on the number 3, andito, andyan na po agad yung mga skills that would require digital literacy skills. So these are the top largest growing jobs predicted for 2030. And then ito naman po yung top largest declining jobs, no? Such as yung cashiers, admin assistants, building caretakers, because all of this can be done remotely or with the help of technology. All right. And then here po, we're seeing naman po very quickly on a snapshot the fastest growing and declining jobs by 2030. So on the top fastest growing job, we're seeing po a lot of that one centered on professions and work experiences that would necessitate a high proficiency on digital literacy. So you're seeing po there, big data specialists. No? So yung mga analyst po ng mga numbers at saka yung mga metrics na pumapasok, fintech engineering, yung ginagamit po niyong mga app to pay yung mga bills po ninyo, to order po yung mga Shopee at Lazada po natin. Those would be examples of fintech engineers. Ayan. And we're seeing also top fastest declining jobs such as postal service clerks. No? In China, pwede na po kayo mag-order ng milk tea ninyo at ihahatid po siya ng drone. So, those would be examples po of how technology is really shaping how we do things in a day-to-day po na activity. Okay. And then this would be the top 10 fastest growing skills by 2030. And a lot of that one you're seeing skills that are related not just on knowing how IT works, knowing how infrastructure works, or yung digital literacy skills po natin, but you should be seeing also here soft skills na kailangan po natin that we can use not just in the workplace but on yung personal din po natin. Say for example, creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility. Mukhang yung Pinoy, kayang-kaya po ito no? Because we're very resilient, we're very flexible, and very agile. Ano po tayo, maparaan. So I think on that part, kaya po nating i-ace yan, which is need to develop more of those resilience, flexibility, and agility in relation to sa digital literacy skills po natin. So, how do you feel po, dear participants, seeing itong prediction or future of jobs in the next 20, 30, or in the next 5 years po? Do you feel confident po ba dun sa current skill set po ninyo or current skill set ng mga kasamahan natin? Or if you're in a leadership position, those that are working in your group. Ayan, so very exciting. At the same time, I think a lot of you or ako noong una ko po itong nakita, naku, nakakatakot naman po itong prediction na to because, teka lang, do I have all of these skills ba? But the good thing is that because we now know ano yung what can happen probably in the next 5 years, then we are better prepared. And I think that would be a best tool, yung being prepared in what's to come because that would ensure or help us to be resilient, flexible, and agile. All right. So last on the reports from the future of jobs is that this one. And in this illustration, it shows how business responds to AI development. I think since 2023, since ChatGPT has been, kumbaga, ah, naging accessible na siya to a lot of users, that has been the start ng explosion or implosion ng Gen AI tools. And that's good because I'm sure you would agree this is a good time to be alive because we're seeing po yung promise ng technology, but at the same time we are uh, being coddled po doon sa current natin na situation or current po natin na circumstances. No? So a large percentage of that, at least by 77% shows that reskilling and upskilling existing workforce is needed to better work alongside AI. So, yun po yung prediction that at least 77% of our workforce needs to be reskilled, upskilled to better work alongside AI. And that goes back doon sa una nating slide, no? Why is assessing yung digital skills ninyo, digital literacy ninyo is important? Because knowing where you stand doon sa benchmark of a skilled worker of the future po, would get you ready to improve yourself. If you're doing it personally, or would get you ready to improve your group, your organizations, or your team. So being prepared is one of the key skills po natin or key tools and resources po natin. Now, on this slide, I'm showing to you that according to the European Union's DIGICOM framework, 5 competencies are required to thrive in a digital world. So we're seeing that one in reference, relevant po dun sa unang slides po natin that these are the 5 skills that would allow us to thrive and survive and exist progressively in a digital world, which is problem solving, information and data literacy, communication and collaboration, digital content creation, and safety. Ayan. So according to UNESCO, digital literacy is defined as the ability to access, manage, understand, very important po ito, integrate, communicate, evaluate, and create information safely and appropriately through digital technologies for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. Ayan. So, let's do a quick check, dear participants. Ayan. Are you ready? Um, do you have yung digital literacy skill set to be ready for the future? Or are your stakeholders in your institutions or organizations ready? No? All right, so I think that begs the question. It's a good time to do that reflection. No? Um, so additional question there would be how confident are you in your digital skills or in the digital skills of your stakeholders, such as the students, your instructors, the officers, the workers, the managers? How confident are you in their digital skills? The truth is, dear participants, you'll never really know for sure unless you measure it. Kasi tayo, yung Pilipino, we can always use yung tantiometer or yung guesses. Tansya ko lang, um, gantong level yung skills. And that's good because sometimes it's driven by gut feel. And that's Mother Nature's metric or measurement. No? But of course, um, when it comes to training and upskilling and getting ready, we need more than gut feel. And that's why we need tools that are authoritative and reliable, tools that would give us a clear and accurate picture of where we are and what we still need to improve, where we still need to improve. Because if we want to thrive in a digital world, we can't just guess our way through it. We need data to guide our direction. And truly, data daw po is the new currency. Yan na po yung bagong gold right now, yung data. No? That's why it's very important. Ayan. Ah, I'm heart ko tong confidence level ni Sir Richard. 7 out of 10 daw yung confidence level niya. Nako. How about yung iba po nating participants? It's good that you're able to know that, and it's good to share that also do sa mga kasamahan po natin. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to move dito sa next slide po natin because we're coming full circle already. Now, earlier we asked ourselves why digital skills assessment is important, and you've shared po yung answers nyo. All of those are correct and true. And they matter because they directly support the initiatives and programs and goals and objectives, the vision and mission of your organization and institution. If you have a digital skills assessment, then it can directly support all of those things, yung objectives po natin, because the important element there, knowing where your participants are or your colleagues are in relation to their digital skills, helps you deliver just right resources, tools, and solutions, ensuring that every effort, activity, and program that you develop and roll out is meaningful, targeted, and set up for success. And so yun po yung importance of that you're able to pinpoint just right po ng mga activities for your stakeholders. And at this time, you might be asking, what would be the resources look like? I'm sure there are a lot of platforms or websites that would offer you assessment or survey to check po yung skills ninyo on digital literacy. There are a lot available here. But with CNWE, we are happy po to share um, that our solutions offers authoritative assessments that not only measure where the stakeholders are, but also guide them to align courses based on their needs. And all of these are delivered through an easy to use platform. Altogether po, yung purpose po ng solution natin should be learners' success. That after po they've gone through yung assessment, they know ano po yung kulang nila, ano po yung strength nila, anong areas yung needs po nila ng improvement. And importante po doon is that what would be the tools, trainings, and resources that is aligned just right for them to reach that level of benchmark or improvement na kailangan po to survive in our world today. Now, at this point, I'd like to introduce two institutions that can support you on this. So, as mentioned earlier by our facilitator, we are SEALS or CNE Adaptive Learning Solutions. We are a reputable source of quality educational materials, products, and services. And we started from a publishing company, CNE Publishing, 31 years ago. And today we have grown and developed into different segments or different brands to provide po the just right solutions, tools and services to our stakeholders po. Ayan. And we are composed of 4 specialized business units. You're seeing that there. We have CE Logic, Kite Digital Educational Solutions, and Makerspace po. And very new to our organization is CE Nexus. This is a Singapore-based company and part of the SEALS family. This is founded just last year, and it aims to be the leading education technology provider in Southeast Asia. So we're bringing actually all of the tools and solutions that are homegrown in the Philippines or managed in the Philippines through our neighboring countries through CNE Nexus. Uh, that is part of the growing SEALS family. Together with SEALS, for this endeavor, we are proud to share that DSF or Digital Skills Factory has trusted CNE or SEALS to bring to you their bespoke solutions specifically on skills assessment and the courses that can help you address those skills gap. DSF is founded in 2017. This is a French social enterprise focusing on digital literacy as an essential building block for development. part na po siya, dear participants, ng Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And DSEF is sustainable, scalable, and cost-effective training solution for the digital age. Now let's let me walk you through po and explore what Digital Skills Factory is. So DSF, or Digital Skills Factory, is an online training provider focused on improving digital skills and competencies. It offers skills assessment called Skill Map, and additionally po courses that can help address po the skills gap, which is going to be provided po by the assessment po natin. So again, si DSF po, 2 po ito na model niya. We have a skills assessment tool. We call it Skill Map. And yung mga courses po that would help address the skills gap that would be shown or um, introduced po by the skills assessment po natin. All right. The value proposition of DSF would be as follow. No? Let's take a closer look at what makes DSF a strong and valuable solution for digital skills development. Number one, DSF has baseline skills validation. If a person scores more than 80%, then the person will move straight to the exam, so no time loss at validation level. Number two, value of DSF is that it affords training cost reduction. We've seen that on the video earlier because it is done online. No travel costs and stipends are incurred. Number three, DSF allows for basic competencies to be validated all over the board. Number four, DSF has international accreditation. So DSF courses and assessments are aligned with globally recognized frameworks like the EU Digicom, the one that we've shown earlier, providing credibility and ensuring international standards in digital literacy. So you are assured po, dear participants, that the assessment tool inside DSF are benchmarked against international standards. So really our participants, once you've taken po the skills map assessment, you would know po how you fare with other individuals in terms of digital skills across the globe. Number fifth on the on the value proposition would be it's data driven. It is data driven. No? So DSF provides tracking to show ROI and people doing the training. And lastly po, with DSF, large scale rollout is possible. So if you in a position po sa isang institution wherein marami po kayong stakeholders, DSF has that capacity to roll out the assessment and the courses on such large scale. So it allows sustainable approach for the future of the programs. And lastly, with DSF, no absenteeism or less absenteeism from the office or the classroom because you can do the courses, you can do assessment at the safety and convenience of your workplace or sa bahay po or depending on your time po ninyo. Okay? So I think that's the beauty of because it's online. All right. Now on this slide po, I'm showing to you a sample of a screenshot of how DSF is providing the data-driven dashboard. I'm sure yung mga administrators or nasa admin or those who are um, uh, in a position to on leading and deciding, it's very important to you to know the statistics or the data ng mga users po ninyo. So this is an example of a data-driven dashboard. With this, DSF makes it ideal to monitor the progress of remote learning. So for example, yung institution po ninyo will be able to follow the progress of each project, and it is also important for the users to know that they are monitored. So you're seeing here po the number of participants doing the assessment on the platform and the number of participants po taking the courses within the platform po and yung mga scores po nila nakikita din po natin here. Ayan. So, SkillMap is an assessment platform which assesses your knowledge, your skills, and attitudes in 5 key areas. So, yung 5 key areas po were mentioned earlier, yung mga skills that are important po to thrive in our world today. And based on the EU's Digital Competence Framework or DIGCOM, skill map assesses knowledge, skills, and attitudes in those areas. There is going to be a mixed methodology used. There are 63 self-assessment questions and a bank of 378 testing questions. So yun po yung wealth of assessment that is available in DSF. And using a combination of self-reflection and practical testing, Skill Map is able to provide um, a clear picture of an individual's digital abilities. The process begins with simple self-assessment to measure confidence in various tasks. Then, tailored testing questions verify actual skill level, offering an objective view of the digital competencies. And once the assessment is complete, the individual will receive a personalized dashboard highlighting strengths and identifying growth areas. And I think that's very important na automatically after po natin mag-take ng assessment, we'll know where we stand. So the beauty of DSF is that it's going to ask you questions on what you think you know in relation to sa 5 areas na yon. And then, after po niyan tanungin kayo on areas on what you think you know, it's going to ask you questions to test what you think you know. And then it's going to provide you that score. Now, let me show you how that works. Ayan po. So, yung first part po is that self-reflection questions in relation to your skill. So, this is a sample of questions on that area. So, nakikita po natin dito, the question is, I know how to restrict or refuse access to my geographical location. Remember, this would be one of the questions that would point doon sa digital skills ninyo or literacy ninyo on your safety uh, um, in online no, or online. So this is pointing to digital safety skills po natin. So the platform is going to ask you if you know this one, no? If you know how to safeguard yourself. So you're gonna choose yung mga questions niyo po here. This would show po yung level of confidence po ninyo. And then it's gonna ask you another question, self-reflection question naman po pa rin. This time based on your attitude or checking on your attitude. So example here is that I carefully check the privacy policies of the digital service that I use. So do you do that? Ako, how po minsan, no? Minsan yes, minsan no. So so yun po, tinatanong naman po niya na ang attitude natin still reflecting or pointing on cyber safety po natin. And the last part of the question po is a testing question. This time is the platform is going to test and assess kaya mo ba yung sinasabi mong akala mong kaya mong gawin. So there's a scenario here. You're doing a research on marine life and you find information on a blog that doesn't cite sources. How can you determine if this information is reliable? Yan. So ito naman po yung pang-check doon sa sinabi mong kaya mong gawin. So the assessment po in skill map takes about an hour. Takes you through 5 different set of skills na ititest ka po niya on your skill, on your attitude, and the testing question. And after po nating masagot lahat ng questions po na yon is going to provide you that data. So if you're taking this one individually, you're going to see your individual scores. If you are in the position naman po ng platform administration, you can see all of the participants in your organization and institution taking the test, the assessment, and ano po yung score po nila. Now, I'm going to share to you po a sample or screenshot of a score taken by an individual. And so it's going to show po to you a summary view. So over here, you're seeing po that 5 areas: information and data literacy, communication and collaboration, digital content and creation, safety and problem solving. And for each of that area po, it's going to show you the percentage nung being literate po ninyo or tamang sagot based dun sa sinabi ninyong alam ninyo and doon sa actual po na answer, doon sa questions po natin. So I think this is a good tool because here you'll know, teka, 55% lang pala ako ready in terms of information and data literacy. So that means you have intermediate level ng digital literacy or yung digital skills po natin. High level on safety and intermediate level naman po on problem solving. 28% on foundation. So this would be sample of a report that you would be seeing. Take note, dear participants, I took this assessment too. And ang taas-taas ang confidence level ko na mataas yung mga scores ko on these areas. And lo and behold, it was an awakening moment for me. Nako, marami pa po pala akong kailangang matutunan to get myself ready for on these aspects. And I think that's good and a humbling experience because I'm able to safeguard myself, being able to enrich what I know, and kumbaga, pukpukin yung foundation on what I think I know. So, yun po. So, after the summer review, you would also see po yung pinaka-detail ng view na yon. Over here, we are looking at yung information and data literacy. Yan po, from the earlier na slide, information and data literacy tells us 55% yung individual na to. And here, you are seeing po, ano specific doon sa information and digital literacy skills yung mga ini-score sa participant. So over here, we're seeing po three segments. You have different segments po for each of that skills level po natin. So si participant who took this assessment has a 64% on evaluating data, information, and digital content. And so it gives you that breakdown up to the granular level ng skills mo, where you need to improve, saan ka okay na, kumbaga, and saan kailangan ng more attention. And you also have a real view of that one. So this one is very good po if you are in a position of seeing yung mga scores or results of a lot of stakeholders. So dear participants, that is skills map po natin. Again, it's an assessment platform, walks you through assessment of the 5 competency levels. And after po that assessment, you get to see your result. I'm going to pause for a while there and check any feedback or comment or reaction on skill map. Do you think it's going to be helpful po in your industry, in your organization, or in your institution? Right? You can also send a Zoom react if it is. How do you feel or ano po yung comment or feedback po ninyo or first impression niyo po about skill map? Yan, ninanamnam pa po ng mga participants natin. All right. So, at this time, while you are nagmumuni-muni on that one, I'm gonna very quickly lang po go dito sa next slide po natin, which is showing naman po what's next, no? After nag-take ng assessment, what's gonna happen next? Okay, so I think yun yung pinaka-importanting question or yung katimbang or yung kahati of knowing where we are, where we need to improve, what would be the skills that we need upskilling, or what would be the skills that we need more attention to is that what's next? Okay, so you can do two things after this one. Number one is that if the organization or institution has your own training materials or learning resources materials, you can look into your resources and refine it to address or fine tune so that you can address the skills gap of your stakeholders. So that's one. No? So if you have an existing resources already, you can look into that and match yung result ng mga participants or stakeholders ninyo. If you don't have an existing resources or existing materials to help your stakeholders improve or fill that gap on their digital literacy, then similarly, DSF can help you because um, partnered with the skill map or the assessment would be the courses available to help bridge those gaps. So this would be the sample of a list of the courses available inside the SF. So there are several courses available here. I'm showing you or I'm putting a highlight on the 21st century skills, but we have specific courses or learning resources po for teachers. And right now po, we also have a new course on AI literacy naman po. But on this slide po, you're seeing a wealth of courses available here. And for each of the course po natin, you're seeing po how much time you need to invest to improve yourself on that one. So for example, for Career Builder Toolkit, you'll need 25 hours for that. That particular course book can be taken in a period of 12 months. So it's not gonna impact or not gonna kumbaga, be a hadlang or jeopardize your current working hours or your working setup, because you can actually take the course for 1 year and you can take it at the convenience of your time. So say, for example, after office or during weekend, because that's the beauty of online, it being online. So those would be a sample of the courses available in DSF. Now, the courses under the 21st Century Skills Portfolio are designed to deliver 8 key learning outcomes that ensure meaningful, practical, and future-ready competencies for all users. And you are seeing that here, all of these 8 key learning outcomes po natin. Okay. So DSF, to recap po, dear participants, these are is a global provider of online learning for education, focusing on digital inclusion through a range of internationally accredited or endorsed programs. And it uses yung framework po ng EU Digital Competency to deliver po those tools and resources para sa inyo. If you want to go into yung courses po natin, I'm going to give you a very quick snapshot of that. Very easy to do po. You just need to go to the website, encode the assigned username and password to you, and you would see the courses that your institution would avail for the stakeholders. So this is a sample of a course available in the DSF courses. This one has Career Builder Toolkit and the Digital Competency Passport for Employment. So if you click on that one, you're going to see all of the lessons inside of that course. So this is the Digital Competency Passport. You're seeing po here 9 po na lessons, sorry, 10 po na lessons. And then if you click on that particular lesson, say for example, the computing fundamentals, is going to give you a walkthrough of all of those materials. The materials po, these are self-paced learning materials. These are in video format. And for each of the video lessons po, meron pong assessment after each of that one. For each of the lesson that you finish, you get a badge. And for each of the course that you finish, you get po that certification. Again, our certificate is internationally recognized. Ayan. And so you get po a certification that has that international recognition po over here. So it makes you feel, so to speak, at ease, no? Because yung skills na natutunan mo, you can use it not only here in the Philippines, but you can also use it outside. I mean, you can be at par on those skills, right? And the good thing is that if you are on the go, the SF provides mobility because it's available or accessible via smartphone or tablet. It's also possible to work offline and synchronize all of those resources po natin. Ayan. And as a review, to effectively carry digital skills assessment to digital skills enablement. Na yun po yung important keyword po natin, that we are able to enable yung mga stakeholders po natin. Several key steps and tools are needed. And here's a breakdown of what's required or what can help you with. So number one, a clear understanding of the learning objectives. Before anything, of course, you need to clearly define the goals and outcomes of your program or your course. This will guide you what to assess and map to. Number two is to develop or select pre-assessment tools. So if you have your own skills assessment tools, that's all right. That's good. If you don't have, then you may want to look into Skill Map by DSF. Number three, um, is to collect data on learner's profile. To accurately map your skills, you need to have an understanding of each learner's current capabilities. And you have that one with DSF. Number four is a skills mapping framework. If you have a framework already, again, that's good, that's commendable. If not, then you can use po yung framework used by SkillMap, which is yung EU Digicom, which is the European Union's framework for digital literacy. Next is to select or design appropriate tools or resources. If you have that, again, that's good. And if not, you can look into the collection available in DSF. And lastly, of course, importante po, regular monitoring and updates. updates. Minsan yun po yung kulang na element is to check ano na po nangyari dun sa mga stakeholders natin after the assessment, after the training. It needs to be continuous, especially skills are evolving. Skills need to be upgraded and upskilled because we are living in a fast changing environment or world already. Okay, so dear participants, that's Digital Skills Factory. I hope I have given you new insights into how you can be more ready into our 21st century po na work environment. And at this time, I think there are some questions here. There's a question here on how much to take the assessment and the courses. So, yung cost po ng assessment and the courses are normally po per institution. Dear Sir Richard, we can send you po a specific po na quote depende po dun sa number of users po natin. We'd be happy to send you po the details over your email po. If you can share it to us via DM so that we can provide those po sa inyo. Alright. Sige. At this time, I'm going to turn over the floor again to our facilitator for the Q&A po natin.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Loy. And dear participants, can we give a virtual applause or clap to Miss Loy for her sharing this morning? Thank you for that very informative discussion po, Miss Loy, about the digital skills factory. All right, dear participants, we're now officially opening the floor for question or clarification or any comment about the digital solutions that our speaker have shared this morning. So please park your questions on the chat box. Ayan po. Sige po. So kanina nag-asa ng question yung isa nating participant, si Sir Richard, about the pricing. Yan po. Meron pong isang question dito, Miss Eloisa. Can we avail the assessment individually if ever?
Um, Currently, the platform is designed for an assessment by organization po. Ayan. So, hindi pa po siya available B2C, but it's available po via B2B or through organizations or yung groups po natin.
All right. Any more questions from our participants or baka meron kayong follow-up questions doon sa mga nasagot na ng ating speaker? Sige po. All right. So may follow-up question po dito, Miss Loy, from our participant. So what is the cost po if an organization decides to avail? So
All right. Thank you po for that, participant Esmel. Yung cost po nung assessment po natin would vary on the number of users in the organization. So we'd be happy to give you po a quote. But to give you a ballpark figure, hindi po siya mahal. Or I mean, it's practical yung cost po natin for this one. As you've seen po dun sa earlier slide po natin, CDSF is a social entrepreneur company po siya, meaning it's meant to help po yung organizations and institutions. Ayan. But again po, participant Ashmel would be happy to provide po a quote for you. Let us know po yung details so that we can send that one to you. Yung cost po para sa organization po ninyo.
all
Ayan. So may
right.
question si Sir Richard. Is the assessment anyway reference against the ITU Digital Skills Assessment? Not very familiar lang po with the ITU. Um, Digital skills assessment. But what I can guarantee po, sir, is that the assessment, the questions, the framework are referenced against EU DigiComp po. So EU DigiComp is internationally recognized na framework ng digital literacy skills. But I'd be happy to check with our partner, DSF, regarding po dito sa question ninyo again about if it's reference against ITU digital skills assessment. And so there's a question here. Ako na nagbasa. May we know which government agencies have you already conducted trainings? How was the training with the participants? I mean, how successful with the participants and the organization? So currently po, si DSF is introduced sa Philippines just this year, but we're happy to share that uh, DOST, we have been working with DOST po to introduce po yung platform, to introduce po the platform to its stakeholders po. So they had a session or they had I think 2 weeks po na training around April wherein we presented this one. And some of their participants have already known po CDSF. And they've also taken po yung skills map na assessment. And a lot of them were actually surprised also doon sa result po nila because similar po na experience sa akin. They thought they had that kind of level ng digital literacy skills. And then it's a pleasant surprise because hindi na po sila gumagamit ng tensyometer, no? Right now, they know na po what part ng digital skills they need to focus more on. And user experience on skill map, most of the responses shared to us is that matagal siya. Yes po, kasi 1 hour po talaga yung assessment. The reason for that length is that, of course, we want really to diagnose and assess yung skills po natin. So para lang po tayo physical exam takes about 3 hours po ata for the whole APE. So similarly po sa digital skills po natin. It takes about an hour, but the platform is stable naman po. So there were no comment on it being naglalag or nagbabuffer and takes you through that experience po. And also, some of the schools in the Philippines have expressed interest to using po CDSF specifically for their employers, no, employees, yung mga faculty, yung mga nasa offices. So we have several schools in Visayas who has intended po yung kanilang interest to use this one po. So I hope nasagot ko po yung question po ni si Miss Myra Esther. Ayan po, ng DAR. Ayan. We'd be happy to send you po further information, Miss Myra, about DSF. If you can send us your email ad or how we can connect to you po, we'd be happy to share more information po.
All right, thank you for answering the questions po, Ms. Loy. So, dear participants, do you have any more questions or clarifications po before we proceed on the next part of our session this morning? May mga pahabol pa po ba that you'd like to clarify about the assessments or the results or dun din sa mga courses inside the Digital Skills Factory? So, baka po meron pa po tayong mga questions. Or if okay na po sa inyo to proceed, may I receive a heart reaction po sa ating Zoom if we're okay to proceed na on the next part. All right, so I'm seeing hearts on my screen right now. So let us proceed now on the next part of our session this morning. So showing po on the screen is the QR code for our evaluation form and request for an in-depth presentation or walkthrough of the Digital Skills Factory. And this will also serve as your evaluation form because your feedback is important to us and it will give us insights on how we can improve our services and our sessions or webinars for our future events. And this will also serve as your attendance for the session. Please make sure po to input the correct details sa form po natin because this will also serve or will be the basis of your certificate. All right, so I'll give you po 2 minutes to accomplish the form and please type number 1 in our chat box once you're done or once you have you have accomplished po the form. All right? So you may also click po yung link that we've sent sa chat box natin if you're not able po to scan the QR code. So while nag-accomplish po tayo ng form, kung meron pa pong mga um, questions po para po doon sa Digital Skills Factory, feel free lang po to park that questions on our chat box. Ayan po.